Well, my dear friends, a very good morning to you on this, the 25th day of September, 2018. Thanks for joining us for today's edition of Gudday, Grenada. Taking a look at a couple of things this morning. First, we're going to take a look at something I've been telling you about for the past couple of days, the launch of the 2018-2019 cruise ship season, which got underway yesterday. We're going to show you some images of what went down yesterday. And then we're also going to take a look at what's happening with the remnants of Tropical Storm Kirk. Yeah, Kirk, I ain't sure that Kirk has given up the ghost yet. And I'm not going to go any further, but I'll tell you a bit more about that in just a wee bit. But then, of course, we do have the national report from the Government Information Service. And yep, he's going to be here, sitting right over there in person this morning. Mr. Ray Roberts. Okay, so it's going to be a busy morning. Now, yesterday, let me start pulling up these pictures here for you. Yesterday. Take a look at that ship. Now, that's not in Grenada, but that ship was in town yesterday. That's the Carnival Breeze. She arrived at about 9 o'clock yesterday morning and spent the day with us. She departed at 6 o'clock in the evening. And this is a ship that was built back in 2012, and she sports the Panama flag. Yep. Only last year she was refurbished. So let's see, she's built in 2012. She's about 6 years old. She's already had at least one refurbishment. And let me tell you a little bit about this girl here, the Breeze. The Breeze has 14 decks. Can you imagine that? 14 decks, which makes it way taller than any building in this country. Can you believe that? Yeah, taller than any building in this country. She has 1,845 cabins. That's a lot of people she's got on board there. And in addition to that, let's see, what more can I tell you? She has a capacity of anywhere between 3,690 and 4,428 passengers. That's what she can accommodate. I guess it depends on the configuration and the type of cruise they're doing, etc., etc. Then, in addition to all of that, she has a top speed of about 26 miles an hour. Do you have any idea how much it cost to build that ship? It cost them $740 million US dollars. US dollars, eh? You heard me. I'm not talking EC buckaroos here. We're talking US dollars. What else about her? She's about 1,004 feet long. Hence the reason you find that you never see her coming into the carronage. That's for sure. She has a beam or width of about 121 feet. And currently, she's on a 14-day cruise, which actually began in Galveston, in Texas, on the 16th of September. Okay? Then, she was in here a couple of days ago. She was in Curacao, and she was in here yesterday, obviously. Today, she's visiting friends out there in Barbados. From there, she goes on to Dominica and St. Martin before spending about 2.5 days at sea and then heading back up to Port Canaveral. And that's going to put an end to her 14-day cruise. Now, take one final look at her. Look at that gal. Look at that aerial view of that young lady. A lot going on aboard that ship. A lot. Now, yesterday I was a little bit curious about the ship. So, Georgie Porgy took a hike downtown to see what sort of activity there might have been going on downtown. And I spent most of my time at the Esplanade Mall. Let's take a look. There you go. You can see that, yeah, there was a bit of activity going on down there. I'm not going to say it was actually really bustling, you know, chock-a-block. But I guess that could have been expected, because I didn't get down there until about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I would imagine that at that point, a lot of people were either down on the beach or doing island tours and, you know, stuff like that, whatever it is tourists do when they come to the island. So, as you can see, yeah, there was some activity down there. Can you imagine what it's like when they've got 3, 4, 5 ships in here? Huh? Tell ya. By the way, the next cruise ship is not due now until the 3rd of October. By the way, I'm still awaiting the cruise ship schedule from the Grenada Tourism Authority just last week. They promised me that I would have it, I think last Friday. So, you know, before the end of last week. But I still haven't seen it. I'm just hoping that it will be forthcoming very, very shortly. And like we always do, every day that there's a cruise ship in town, we'll let you know what's going on. Okay? But first of all, I need to get my hands on the schedule. So, I'll let you know as soon as I get that. What else can I tell you about the ship? About the season, I will tell you that I've been told by the Grenada Tourism Authority that they are expecting a way better season than they had last year. I think last year they said the figures were up something like 27%, and they're expecting an even better season this year, 2018, 2019. So that's it for our little sightseeing trip down at the Esplanade Mall yesterday. It's now 9.5 minutes after the hour, and I think it's time that we took our first little break. And are you crazy, George? You promised these people you would tell them what's happening with the weather. How dare you? The remnants of Kirk are located, and listen to this carefully, folks, are located about 950 miles to the east of the Windward Islands, and they're moving quickly westward at about 25 miles an hour. The system continues to produce a large area of showers and thunderstorms, along with winds to near gale force in gusts on its north side, on the north side of that system. However, satellite data indicates that the system still lacks a closed circulation. The disturbance, listen to this now, listen up. Don't say you didn't know. The disturbance could redevelop into a tropical cyclone during the next day or two before it moves into an area of highly unfavorable upper-level winds while it approaches the Caribbean. Hear this? Interest in the Windward and Leeward Islands should monitor the progress of this disturbance, since gusty winds and locally heavy rains are likely over the next couple of days, even if the system does not redevelop into a tropical cyclone. Formation chance through the next 48 hours, medium, 60%. Formation chance through the next 5 days, medium, 60%. Medium? Well, we'll wait and see what happens. Folks, the fat lady hasn't sung yet. She hasn't. So, good morning, Maureen. Maureen Batiste. She's on Facebook this morning. She says she's listening and watching. Thank you very much for being with us, Maureen. And Chester out there in Switzerland. Chester, what happened? Cat got your tongue or what? It's always so brief. Switzerland is with you. Wow. Grenada, Chester, is with you. Thanks a lot for joining us. And please, like the page. Let's take our first little break here now. We'll come on back in just a wee bit with the National Report.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing.
A commemorative postage stamp.
So it's good to know I have Quad Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
So babe, Alberto and Beryl come and gone, right? So that means we still have Chris, Debbie, Florence, Michael, Patty, Sarah.
From the looks of it, Tony and Valerie might be coming as well. So we need to pick up some extra hurricane supplies.
You don't know how many hurricanes will be coming this season, so you need to be prepared. At Hubbard's Hardware and Building Supply Departments and the Food Fair supermarkets, everything from canned foods, flashlights and batteries, to plywood, tarpaulin, lanterns, roof repair kits, water tanks, etc. are available. For over 90 years, we've helped you prepare for and recover from storms. Hubbard's is an integral part of your hurricane preparedness plan. Get discounts when using credit and debit cards.
Easy living should be convenient. With Grennek, it is. Dial 237 for any Grennek department, or for customer service, streetlight outages, or if it's unsafe to trim a tree near a power line. For streetlights and service issues, please note the pole number. From just about anywhere, you can also check your bill balance and other account information. Just keep your Grennek access number handy. Dial 237 for Grennek. It's that easy. Grennek, energizing our Grenada.
Grenada Market has now introduced the Prime products to online shoppers in the UK via amazon.co.uk. Zebrapick, Nutmed, Bourbonday and Mobiback are now available, with more products being added gradually. These products are shipped across the UK and Europe free of charge for Amazon Prime members and backed by Amazon's reputable customer service. Avoid international shipping. Buy in your local area. Amazon.com in the USA, Amazon.ca in Canada, and Amazon.co.uk in UK and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Ballot papers being prepared for November 6th referendum. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Monday, September 24th, 2018, I am Rakisha Sendlui. The ballot papers are now being prepared as Grenada gets ready to vote in a referendum on November 6th to determine whether the CCJ will become the country's final court of appeal. Police will vote on Friday, November 2nd, and with the writ now issued, Registration will close on Friday, September 28th. Mr. Ferdinand Phillip, the Voter and Civic Registration Officer in the Parliamentary Elections Office, is appealing to those who have not yet registered or who wish to have their names transferred to another constituency to do so before the Friday deadline.
Once the day comes, that's the 28th, and registration ceases, the office then proceeds to what we call sanitizing of the list. Screening it, checking it, ensuring that all of the persons are there, all of the information is there, because a list will be posted pretty early into the next month. The list will come out, and persons would then have 7 days to inspect the list. The list, to look at it for any discrepancies, to ensure that their names are there as expected, to ensure that they are registered, to ensure that they are in the right polling division, in the right constituent. All of these things, you are urged to inspect the list, to ensure that what you wanted is represented there.
The public has 7 days in which to raise their claims and objections, and at the end of that period, a final list will be produced that will guide the function on referendum day. Close to 80,000 are registered on the voters list. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, is heartened by the efforts of government to build Grenada's resilience in the face of unpredictable climate patterns. That's according to Minister with Responsibility for Disaster Management and Information, Senator the Honorable Dr. Winston Garwe. Senator Garwe says certifying the parishes are just the beginning of proving how serious Grenada is about building its climate resilience.
This event today will help us to demonstrate to the world that we are serious about climate resilience and that our national development is not an agenda on its own, but it's integrated with finding solutions for the vulnerabilities that we face as small island developing states. Just want to pause and say that our greenhouse gas emission is very negligible, but when coming to impact from cyclones as a result of the changing times that we're in, we get a worse impact. But that's how nature has it at this point. All we can do is to ensure that we're prepared. We know what to do in the event.
He was speaking at the St. Patrick Tsunami Ready ceremony on Thursday. National Coordinator Sylvan McIntyre said although efforts are being made to boost climate resilience, more emphasis needs to be placed on improving communication and public education. He made reference to recent earthquakes which exposed the lack and limitations within the system.
A gentle reminder of our vulnerabilities and the realities of the times in which we are living. The earthquake and the tsunami threat message exposed our limitation in communication and, most important, the element of public education and information. In my humble opinion and professional position, public education is most valuable mitigation tool. That is for the now, then, and for the future.
St. Patrick is the first parish in Grenada that has been certified tsunami ready. The plan is to certify other parishes in the near future. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The CCJ will be a Caribbean court, reflective of Caribbean culture, Caribbean values, and everything Caribbean. I ask this question: which court do you think will adequately reflect the views of Caribbean people to those who worry? Will it be the Privy Council, persons in Britain, persons who have never lived in Caribbean, persons who don't share our values, persons who don't understand what we stand for and what values we uphold? Or would it be our people who have grown among us, who live among us, who attend the churches we attend, who attend the schools we attend, who are members of the soccer teams that we are members of? Who best do you think will reflect us?
It's about time. It's long overdue. We should be there because, get out of the British thing, and so We are all one Caribbean, and I think that will be binding us more together.
Yours is yours. Privy Council is not ours. No matter what we do, what we say, no matter what ties we had to England, this is the time to keep divesting ourselves of those strings that tie us unnecessarily.
There's nothing in this bill for any partisan political party. Nothing. There's only one thing in this. It's for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and for the Caribbean region as a whole.
Justice has to be accessible, affordable, and swift.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education is making good on its promise to improve the delivery of services to the public. Upper-level management staff recently attended a management and leadership workshop with this in mind. Annette Moore holds the details in this report.
If you have to lead, it is important that you establish that you're a leader. And so it means that internally we all have to ask ourselves the question, are we really leading? And if we can answer that with confidence, then it means that it would inform our next steps.
What we gain here would impact the principals at the schools, the students, the teachers, because the trust is to have a higher degree of achievement by students. A lot of our students are, not achieving as much as they can or as much as they should. So this workshop today would definitely enable us to provide that sort of support.
So we have a big mandate, we have a big responsibility, we have a very large group of stakeholders we work with, but I believe if we keep demanding of them, we have some important commitments that we have to make ourselves.
The workshop facilitator was Dr. Anthony Bridgman, a Grenadian native from Byland, St. Andrew.
I have a passion for what I do, especially doing it in Grenada. Grenada has been very good to me. It gave me a foundation who I am today, and I'm very proud of that. I'm a product of the school system in Grenada. I was a teacher here, and now I can come back and give back to this great place. I'm excited.
The speaker is very motivational.
We are focusing a lot on school culture, organizational culture, systems thinking. We're also talking about educating all students, equity and access. The big theme is really leadership, a call to action. We're talking a lot from the perspective of culture. How do we establish a positive culture in the Ministry of Education? What's the expectation that we're looking for with regards to teachers and principals in the building? We're talking about a professionalization of teaching, because it's really important. The quality of teachers in the classroom is the #1 factor that improves student achievement.
He brings a wealth of experience, inclusive of that being somebody who is actively involved in education still. We felt that the relevance part of the equation, that he would have been an appropriate person.
Bridgman says he's committed to continue assisting the ministry's efforts to strengthen its capacity in the area of human resource development.
We want to focus on those areas of weaknesses and try to turn things around. And so all the support we can receive, we do appreciate, and of course we do appreciate Dr. Bridgman's commitment.
The Education Minister says these efforts will form part of a sustained approach towards creating positive change in the education sector. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
That story just brought the curtains down on the National Report for today, Monday, September 24th, 2018. Let's recap the top story. Ballot papers have been prepared for November 6th referendum. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I'm Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for viewing. Until next time.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
Mm-mm. I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this. Where you get that? At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who's supporting the environment. That is why I shop in at food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard. Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
Mm-mm.
When a hurricane watch or warning is in effect, act quickly. Listen to the media for official information. Set your refrigerator to the coldest temperature to help food last longer. Move electrical devices from areas where they may get wet. During a hurricane, stay indoors. Be mindful that you may lose power and keep listening to the media. Unplug all electrical devices and take off your main switch. This will reduce the potential for damage or fire. Avoid opening refrigerators and freezers as food will thaw more quickly. Assume all wires are energized and stay away from them. In the event of island-wide damage, GrenadaBroadcast will restore power to critical facilities first. These include hospitals, police, fire departments, and water supply pumps. For more information, please visit us at GrenadaBroadcast.com.
Grenada Market has now introduced the prime products to online shoppers in the UK via amazon.co.uk. Zebra Pick, Nutmeg, Bourbonday and Mobiback are now available, with more products being added gradually. These products are shipped across the UK and Europe free of charge for Amazon Prime members and backed by Amazon's reputable customer service. Avoid international shipping. Buy in your local area. Amazon.com in the USA, Amazon.ca in Canada, and Amazon.co.uk in UK and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Take a look, folks. Take a look. Take a look. There he is. Is that orange you're wearing this morning?
I think it's close to that.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Robertson. How
Good morning to you, Georgia, and all the Facebook listeners, wherever you may be. Certainly hope you're having a wonderful morning. George is enjoying a big cup of tea, though.
It's coffee. I have to be honest. Just let me show these people here so that they understand that yes, he is having coffee. You see what it says there? Do you see what it says on it there, Ray?
Yes.
You know where that comes from?
Where?
From the elections.
Okay.
Morning. That's
all
what
right.
it says. Huh?
That song has a familiar voice on this station.
Yeah. My good buddy out in Carriacou made a couple of these. One for Beverly and one for me.
Okay.
So you didn't go to the beach this morning?
No, I skipped the beach this morning. I think I was a little exhausted, played a little too much table tennis last night, and then stayed up a little longer than usual. Sometimes I'm attracted to Facebook for too long. Only in the night.
Young man, old man like you, addicted to Facebook, right?
Well, it's interesting always. I think people like Randall and so forth make it very interesting to read some of the content of what they post.
There's a lot of good stuff on Facebook. People, including me, have been very critical of Facebook. But I'll tell you, to be honest, it's a medium, and some people use it for good, some people don't. You know, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be influenced by the bad, but I do sometimes I get to know people and their behavior and understand people, because some people post just about everything in their lives.
Yeah.
And it leads me to ask him questions. Why would
Get
somebody...
a life.
That's correct. And to hopefully that I do not bung away like that.
Yeah.
Right, that's for sure.
So tell me, what's up your sleeve this morning?
Well, there are so many things happening, and there are so many things that perhaps we can look at, but I think the little piece I'll talk about this morning is the Grenada Invitational, and I talk about it because I thought it was an impactful event. The 2 events that we were able to host, all kudos to the organizers. I thought they did a very good job, but it stunned me when I read in the press that the chief organizer had resigned and there were financial problems and accountability. And I know for sure, quite some time now, that some of the athletes who participated were not being paid. And it shocked me that it reached a stage where it seems to me that the chief cook and head bottle washer has copped out, and CEO and other members. So it's now left to I assume, somebody to pay the bills. But I think the initiative by the government, the Minister of Sports, and I think I heard the Prime Minister talking about an investigation. I would hope that it is pursued, because there are too many things in Grenada that take place and involve money, and there seems to be, a hush up or something, let it die a natural death.
Yeah.
So I hope within the next 3 months there'll be an investigation and the findings released as soon as possible, because large sums of money from the taxpayers, the private sector, I think we must know how it was used, and more importantly, the lesson for others who may venture into what we call a private sector initiative or PPP, public-private partnership, because quite clearly we are having too many things in Grenada now where monies have been used and the people who use it seems to, just don't bother.
No accountability.
Yeah. So I think those are the things I would want to see happen. But, as I said at the top, the organizers were creative by bringing the best athletes in the world, by bringing the leading sports channel in the world, ESPN. So, they did a lot of good. But we can't be happy with the conclusion that we hear now, because most likely there won't be another international next year. Invitational next year.
What was it like this year? Was it as good as last year?
Surely not. It was, I think, the novelty of the initial games, I think, the captivating fact that you were going to see the absolute best in the world. I mean, and keep in mind that the Olympic Games, they were just completed. So really and truly, people that were not in the Olympic Games, the best athletes were preparing for that event. So really and truly, people were stimulated by it. And I think it was a good tonic. There's no question it was a good tonic.
Ray, I'm not going to ask you to speculate on what went on. I mean, we'll have to wait and hear the outcome of this investigation. But obviously, like you suggested, perhaps the future of this event could be in jeopardy. Okay? Now, I hope it doesn't go, because it's something that has an enormous amount of potential for this country. Okay? Do you see anybody on the sidelines who might be able to take this and run with it?
The first thing, you have lost credibility, because you can't bring people of the high stature and then don't honor your obligations to them and then pass the buck on to maybe the financial manager. If you're the CEO, you are the boss. The financial manager, he has to take instructions from you. So I would say that our reputation is severely battered. I think the word will go around that we don't pay our bills, and I think the Prime Minister is right that the bigger picture is Grenada and not the individuals who organize the event. But George, I would say one thing too. I think again we are very overzealous when it comes to big events. World artists come into Grenada, we invest very quickly. But when you look at the committee that really was in charge of that, I mean, there was no real substantial manager there. Yes, there were people who were profiling themselves, and that's easy to do. You use the talent of journalism and whatever skills you may have. But when you look at the committee, there wasn't anyone there that is known for accountability and timely reports. And I think in the future, if you look at our carnival, that has been a problem. And I remember in cricket at one point, the West Indies Cricket Board had to appoint Panel Co-Foster, one of these financial auditing firms, to do our books because we were not doing the right thing. I think it tells us that in the future, if we're going to spend millions of dollars on events of this nature, we must find people who can help and who can manage that process. So at the end of it, Grenada will know where the money went and where the money was spent. But you can't have what you're having, a group of overzealous people taking the initiative, and we have to commend them. But we as managers and as leaders must look beyond that enthusiasm of the individuals. We must see that there is content to manage what we are invested in.
You know, and you're not looking just for professionals. I think in addition to the professional help, I think these people need some real assistance when it comes to public relations, because, you know, the way you treat people sometimes comes back to haunt you. And at a time like this, these guys are going to need a lot of people to rally around them. Unless, you know, a Donald Trump or a Sir Iris or one of these people decides to fork up some money. But I think they're going to need a lot of assistance, like you suggested, professionally, but also from a PR standpoint. What do you say?
Well, they need that right now more than ever, because, as I said to you at the top of the discussion, that when everybody resigns, the CEO, the chief organizer, and other members, I mean, it means that we have abandoned the organization, but the organization still has liability to clients and service providers, and maybe there'll be perhaps a litigation. So I would say that the first blunder was the decision of some members to resign.
Yeah.
You should have stayed on and see how you can get people to help you, third parties, you know, that can engage whoever the clients are, so you can solve the problem without the publicity that you're getting now, because, as you said, you will need a counteraction by PR people who can help you to, if not to create a new dispensation, but you certainly would need some PR, as you quite rightly said.
I don't know how much government gave in terms of money to the organization, but I do know that they were very, very supportive of it because they saw an awful lot of potential. Would you, if you were speaking to the Prime Minister and his team right now, would you say to these guys, hey, take this ball and run with it?
Well, you know, we have to give the Prime Minister credit for one thing. He's like, people like me, really passionate about sports. So I assume when he saw that package, it was just too good to ignore. But I think, again, the blunder is we do not take time to study content. Because if we took time to look at the content of the individuals who are doing that, we would see that there is really no one there of, let's put it like that, of serious professional management. You can always talk that, but where is your track record? So I think that is where we as a nation, maybe as a government and as a people, that's where we fell short. I mentioned to you about the cricket board. We were hosting matches here in the 80s and 90s, and West Indies Cricket Board got disgusted with us because we were not providing, report. I'll tell you one other thing which is very local. I remember Ambrose Phillip when he was the secretary of the GFA. Peter Blair used to be the coordinator of St. Andrew, and we know nobody goes to watch football that you could collect thousands. He, in the GFA payment of prizes to clubs, he kept the St. Andrew team prize money. And you know what his decision? Until you account for what you collect, whether you collected or not, but you must send a report. And they eventually did it, and they got the money. But it created an uproar because people are saying, nobody goes and watch the matches. So what are you making noise about accountability? He said, that's not the point. The point is if nobody came, you report, nobody turned up. But we can't entrust with you the responsibility of doing that. And you just come back and say, we didn't have anybody. Write it, so let it go in the minutes. I think we didn't learn from that. And I hope that we find more people in management who will demand such things.
Let's hope, Ray, for the good of Grenada and for the good of the event, that something pans out. You know, you may not be able to find the right people here to take this and run with it, but recognizing the potential. I mean, if government has to look outside and hire some professional firm to take this and run with it, maybe they might even be able to take it to the next level. Huh?
But George, you have people here who could do things. I'll just not giving you any special credit, but you took the opportunity to organize the broadcast for the crypto games, and you paid all the broadcasters and you paid everybody. I didn't hear anybody come and complain. So there are people, there are individuals. There may not be many, but there are individuals who are capable. I think the fact is our leaders ignore the talent and are overzealous. Maybe that's a behavior, a trait of politicians in Grenada and in the OECS. But I think if we take time and we look at the content, we say, look, these are good boys, good intention, but we need to put two of the best minds to manage the process.
Yeah.
I think we'll do a fantastic job. Because we have people, I mean, there's no question about Michael Bascom's enthusiasm and passion for sport. But do we put him to manage the Ministry of Finance? Has he demonstrated that he has that tenacity or that capacity? So we have to look at, you know, enthusiasm in one context and real management in another.
Yeah. You know, you just mentioned the Carifta Games, and even though that was a few years back, I want to thank you again, Ray, for working with us. We had quite a team. We had you. We had Reds Pereira. We had somebody from St. Lucia.
Somebody from Trinidad.
Somebody in Trinidad. Somebody from the Bahamas.
Right.
What a team we put together.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And you paid everybody.
Yeah.
And nobody came protesting and having to look for a third party.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, we can do these things. And the group of gentlemen who organized the first one, I mean, there's no question about that trio. I mean, they have been very, very, very excited about making carnival and other festivals. But they are small festivals. But this is a big thing. You have the world's best athletes.
Yeah.
And you're talking about not thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Those games cost Grenada. I'm hearing one investment figure for ESPN close to $1 million or so by the tourist authority. Because I'm sure, as you know, on American television, prime time, there's no $10 advertisement.
They don't come cheap, no.
It's 100,000 or 150,000. So we did invest significant sums of money, and I assume that the exposure we did get from the games. It was millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
So they might have come to Grenada as tourists or visitors or what have you.
Yeah.
So there was some, I suppose, positive returns.
Yeah. Well, let's keep our pinkies crossed. Now, before I ask you another question here, I want to say hi to Chester, Maureen, Batiste, Benign Neglect, Harry Gibson, all of them out there on Facebook this morning. Ray, listen, I only had a glance at it, but being the sports fanatic that you are, I'm sure that nothing slips by you. And I heard that there's some problem with the Waggy football competition. Can you just fill us in a little bit on that?
Well, it has been an ongoing debate for a few years. Originally, it was the Cheney and Patrick Francis, the GFA, and Waggy. I think the idea, the concept of this thing came from Cheney, but Waggy was the one who had the capital and made it what it is. I get a sense now that there is some, let's put it this way, and I want to be selective in words here. I think that the GFA perhaps feel it can do something similar. And the Waggy thing has the popularity that I don't think the GFA has. And even more important, Waggy has the competence that I don't think the GFA has. I mean, they may have more international imagery, but there's no question about it. The best promoter you have in the country of the highest caliber is Waggy. And I don't see GFA taking that product and making it any better. He's the only one here, to me, that can captivate the footballers and the audience to bring out the thousands that he bring out for the 6 weeks of the Wagiti Football League. My advice to the GFA would be to work in tandem with Wagiti, because he could do more for the game than they can do. They have the whole body, respect and support. Let him invest and give him some areas that he can contribute to the game, grassroots development. Find a way that the money he collects from his major tournament, how much he can pump back into grassroots or some aspect of development. But there's no need for what I'm seeing, the Grenada Cup, to compete against the Wagiti. That's going to bust. That's not going to make it. This guy is special. I mean, I know him from since he had 10 years, I could see. He is special. He played, I knew him as a young kid in school, athlete, table tennis player. He touches things and seems to get them to work where others can't.
There's it's a very unfortunate situation here in Grenada, but there's some trailblazers who go out and do things at high risk, and they become successful. And then people who are maybe a little bit envious or who figure they see a way to cash in on somebody else's success, they suddenly come up with a very similar idea. I'm not sure that this is exactly what's happening here, but I think you know what I'm talking.
You're right, I would say. To be frank, I think you're right about that. I think there's some petty jealousy as to, the longevity and the continued growth. I mean, he pays out $40,000 the night the game is over, the finals are over, and he pays everybody. The GFA takes a year to pay, I don't pay. So, and then he sends the winning team to St. Lucia to play. I mean, pays the passages and so forth. I mean, let's understand this thing. It's like Kerry Parker in cricket, or the CPL. I mean, the West Indies Cricket Board had no choice but to cooperate and work with CPL, the Caribbean Premier League organizers. So I think that's what we need to learn, and I think we get more out of it than trying to use the big stick and the power of the whole body. That's not going to get us very far. We wouldn't have the following that this man is able to create.
All right. I know he didn't go to the beach this morning, Ray, but what the heck is going on down at Grandad's now? Have all the walls come down?
Well, I don't think any wall will come down. As I said to people, and I did an article this week, which I'm grateful to you that you have published on your site, I think the gentleman took his cue from the Palace Hotel and Jenny's guest house. They encroached significantly over the high water mark, the low water mark. I mean, I could talk about that. That's where I grew up. That's where I born, actually. And the government then did nothing about it. In fact, allowed them to continue. There's a gentleman who lives next door there. I wouldn't call his name. But he fought it in court, and after a while he said, look, let me just concede this thing. It's on, and the case wouldn't call. So I think the gentleman, the Silver Sands Project people have done the same thing. They have taken their cue from what they have seen there. And that's what it is. And the traditional activities that take place there, I think the idea is to find a way to disrupt it and to maybe, create an all-inclusive area. Because there are some things that perhaps may not be able to continue. I mean, I grew up seeing, you know what is a scene? Right? That is still functioning there. There are some fishermen there. People have chairs in front of that they rent to cruise ship passengers. So there are quite a number of activities there. And the question is, how do you root it out? Because those are livelihood for, well, it's a few people, but they don't come to you for $1. And they have done well. They have educated their children. They have kept their family alive. So it's how do you put an end to it? So I think, without any doubt, I mean, the politicians won't tell you that, and the project developers won't tell you that. But, I mean, that is the reality of it. That is the reality of it.
Do you believe the people of Grenada are going to take a stance?
Well, let's put it this way. The society is so dependent on government. In fact, I've met people on the beach in the morning, and some of the people in Fenton Village and in Coffee One around the place there, they tell me, what you doing about it? We're not hearing you enough. And then some of them say, well, I ain't going and take any part because the debushing program is in December, and I had to get me 2 fortnights, and I want nobody link me to any of the groups. But Ray, keep the struggle on. But they're not coming out. So I think what you have is because of our dependency on the state. And the state knows that, and that is being exploited. I met workers down there who will tell me privately, I get a good reaction when I walk there in the morning. Nobody tells me anything negative, actually. But guys would say, boy, that's where I'm making my living. No, and I say to people all the time, and I don't forget to tell them that, the walls that were built in South Africa, those high walls to keep out the locals, a section of the population, they were built by the same people. And the people who kept them out paid them to do it. So we better be careful that, yes, we're making a buck, but we must have principle and we must have some form of understanding that we are just, let's call it this way, we are here today, but we have children who will want to enjoy what we enjoy. And while we welcome every business that is honest, we must at the same time protect things that are part of the patrimony of Grenada, part of what make us Grenadians, because the beach is something all of us are familiar with. That's where we enjoy it. So we must not be in any way just limited. We must not be limited to just the vendors market or Cameron Park. We must have some form of opportunity to, play windball, cricket, play football, do many things on the beach.
Let me ask you this before we go. I think everybody in Grenada knows where you stand on the CCJ issue. But there's been a lot of talk lately, and I see that the momentum is building, and a lot of things about the CCJ are now emerging. Despite the heavy campaign that was done in 2016, I thought I'd heard it all then. No, sir. I'm hearing a lot of stuff now. What's your take? Where are we going with this?
Well, I think this thing has been turned into a national elections. I think just as how we were, on the platform deceiving people, I think that's what this whole thing is about. I think this is not a genuine process where we are about to educate people. I listen to one nonsense that makes no sense, that the Privy Council will throw us out and they want us to go and that kind of nonsense, and it's $1 million to get to the Privy Council. I think I heard Sandra and Dave Ned reading the costs from Dominica, people who paid money, and the CCJ, you could come on your laptop and fight a case. I want Francis to tell me how many of us going to do that, even though we have laptop. So all this kind of, I don't know if it's rhetoric or nonsense to fool people. I think, I would wish that they lose big and we start that process with a group of people who are sincere. I know all three people who are there, and I like the talent of Francis, but I must say, I am not motivated. I see no sincerity in what's happening here. All I see is another election campaign, some ego, and somebody wants to say a win at all costs. So, George, I would certainly tell you again, I hope this thing busts, and I hope people join me in voting no. Not because I oppose the CCJ, but I don't think we are taking time off to really incrementally educate people, incrementally fix our court system. Look at Gemma Bean Thomas thing. The woman is home. She's not even 60 yet. And the court has ruled. And we wouldn't pay her. 5 years gone. So what's that? I haven't heard Francis say anything on that. I haven't heard Ruggles say anything on that. As I've said to many, sometimes I laugh at the nonsense in Grenada. I was appointed to the public service in 1979 or thereabout. Came in Gary days. When I left, these fellas didn't pay me. They eventually then pay me something they call a special pension. I'm not making any noise. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to fight it. But the point I'm making, where are these decent champions of what they call themselves, regionalists, integrationists, all kind of nonsense? How they don't say anything when things like that happen? I wish you guys feel miserably. I have no support for them because it's not genuine.
All right, we here at Grenada Broadcast have been airing a lot of content on both sides, especially on the side of the proponents of the CCJ. Ruggles has been going at it for a couple of years now. He's now been joined by Francis again, as he was in the run-up to the last referendum. But lately we started bringing in some other voices. And I just want to give our listeners and viewers a heads up that this weekend, Yesterday morning at about 7:30, I received a phone call from a dear friend of mine, name of Brian Pitt. I'm sure you know Brian. Apparently, Brian attended a function down at TAMCC recently about the CCJ. I think Sir Dennis was there and Prime Minister and everybody else. And something was said that really rubbed Brian the wrong way. So yesterday morning, man, he picked up, George, he wants the first available opportunity.
Well, I'm glad that people like Brian and others are speaking out, because look the bill in Parliament that we passed. I mean, yes, there was some broadcasts, but how many of us know the finer parts of the bill? I've heard one of the lawyers who have credibility and said, you know, Grenadians need to know what is in that document, because she has seen some things that really and truly do not augur well. But how many people have taken time off to read the bill? Let's get rid of colonialism. The colonial people ensured that we could have used the beach. Nobody crossed over the high water mark. But we have local people who don't care. They're leading us. They don't care. I love the colonial people because they are disciplined. Our people don't seem to have that discipline. And if they could demonstrate that discipline, I go in for the CCJ. But I can't risk what I'm seeing now and tell me what I'm a regionalist. Well, what does that mean? Look, these fellas want to take over the West Indies cricket board. Keith Rowley, Keith Mitchell. I mean, which part of the world you hear government want to take over whatever it is, except in some kind of, as President Trump would say, a shithole country. I mean, so where are we going? I mean, look in Dominica, I saw a story this week. Men, SSU or whatever they call themselves, they had the opposition leader and big guns around the court. I mean, because they some trees in charge or something like that. Come on, and I'm gonna take Roosevelt and them, boy, you crazy. I seen this is one thing me and Chester will be on the same line with. I originally was on the other side with the CCJ, but I ain't going that way now. I stick it with him. I have more faith in these fellas because they don't know us, and to me, they have respect for the law, for the rule of law. I ain't too sure we have that in the Caribbean yet, particularly in the OECS.
Thanks a lot, Ray. Thanks
You're
a
welcome,
lot.
Man.
And boy, we have reached our limit.
All right.
And this is where we're going to say thanks a lot. But I'm sure I'm going to be hearing a lot more from you because and between now and November stakes, there's some key people I want to get on here. People have been demanding that I bring you on to take the CCJ on. Some have been demanding that I bring Claudette Joseph, who was
would love to hear her.
Yeah, very vocal, and Jimmy Bristol.
Yes, I would love to hear Jimmy myself.
Well, I certainly hope to have
and I hope Anselm Cloud will make himself available too.
Anselm?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. As soon as we get him to take some time off from his focus on marijuana. Okay. Thanks a lot, Ray.
You're welcome.
And I'll tell you what, right now we're going to take one more quick little break and we'll come back and wrap it up.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our communities.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Spice Island.
GrenLec, energizing our Grenada.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Co-op Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Grenada Market has now introduced the Prime products to online shoppers in the UK via amazon.co.uk. Zebrapick, Nutmeg, Bobanday and Mobiback are now available, with more products being added gradually. These products are shipped across the UK and Europe free of charge for Amazon Prime members and backed by Amazon's reputable customer service. Avoid international shipping. Buy in your local area. Amazon.com in the USA, Amazon.ca in Canada, and Amazon.co.uk in UK and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Conveniently located in the Grenada Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenada will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Alrighty, folks, this is where we're going to have to pull the curtain down. It's 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. Before I go, I want to say thanks to Ray for stopping by this morning, and we also want to invite you to join us again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. But better yet, I also want you to be sure to join us on the next edition of Sundays with George Grant. That's coming your way on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock right here on Grenada Broadcast. Once again, you can listen to us on Radio Genre, Radio Garden, GrenadaBroadcast.com, TuneIn, YouTube, Facebook. And the nice thing about Facebook and YouTube is that after we do this program, for example, the program we're doing right now, it's going to be up on Facebook momentarily. And later on this afternoon, it's also going to be up on YouTube. Don't leave them out. So, on that note, I'm going to try and find my little extra here, and we are going to say thanks again for joining us, and as always, I send you God's blessings and remind you just how much He loves you. There is power in prayer. Spend some time on your knees and be thankful. Even though we have so much mess in this country, we have an awful lot to be thankful for. My dear friends, God bless you.
GrenLac is making it easy for you to skip the line. Try our 24/7 automated telephone service to get your bill balance. First, ensure you have your 6-digit GrenLac access number ready. Not your meter number or your account number, but your GrenLac access number at the front right-hand corner of your bill. Now dial GrenLac's short number 237 using your fixed or mobile phone. Choose the option for account balances, then select our 24-hour bill inquiry service. Use the keypad on your phone or just speak directly into the system. So for all your bill inquiries, call us anytime at 237.
GrenLac, energizing our Grenada.